Hello everybody, welcome to The Crow Show. In this episode I talk about a couple of pickups I've gotten over the past 2 weeks. I talk about some of the games I've been playing as well as some of the games I finished recently, and I talk a little bit about that. And I have a shout out for one of my favorite Canadian YouTubers right after the intro. Alright, let's start out with pickups. Now, I actually haven't went out and bought anything, actually. In fact, the only thing I have here is one lot on eBay that I won, containing 4 games. And actually 2 of those games I own already. But what happened was, well, before I get into that, I did win another auction on eBay, but I haven't gotten the item yet. So, that'll be in the future, I guess. But I was listening to, I think it was All Gen Gamers. Podcast. Either that or one of the other podcasts I listened to. And somebody had brought up Nestor's Funky Bowling for the Virtual Boy. And that reminded me, you know what, that's a game I don't have on the Virtual Boy. And I started looking up on eBay. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was looking at it. And then I saw a lot of 4 games for $40, and one of the games included was Nestor's Funky Bowling. So I picked that up, cartridge only. For Virtual Boy games, I really don't care if I have the box or manual. Nice to have. I only have 2 boxes and manuals for Virtual Boy games, but you know, since they're not that common and they're not easy to get, I'm okay with just the cartridges for those. So that's Nestor's Funky Bowling. The other game it came with that I did not have was Tellero Boxing, and I always thought that would be a cool game to have for the Virtual Boy. Now the 2 games I did have were golf. In fact, this is one of the games I do have in the box with the manual, so that's an extra game for me. And the other one was Mario Tennis. Now this one, this lot also came with the manual for Mario Tennis. I don't think I have that, so at least I have the manual for that. But extra Mario Tennis, and like I said, all 4 of these games were it was about $40 altogether, so it's about $10 a game. And I thought that was a halfway decent deal, so I sprung for it. So yeah, that was all the pickups. I really haven't been out shopping. I've been working on other stuff around the house. I finally got my shower done. Actually, I finished that off yesterday, so fun times. But what have I been playing yesterday? Yesterday, I did play about 10 games for Crow Plays videos, without going into details of what those games were. I kind of was looking at previous Crow Plays I've done, and I picked systems where I either had played only a few games on them, or I didn't play any games at all. So they had that's weird. I thought the air conditioning was going to kick on and it didn't. I had one 7800 game I had previously done, so I played 3 more games on that. I only had one Neo Geo AES game on there, so I played 3 more games on that too. And then I found that I didn't have any Crow Plays videos for Dreamcast games, so I played 4 Dreamcast games. And in the process, I found out that my copy of Hydro Thunder doesn't work. So the game looked really clean, but I'm going to have to clean that off anyway and see if I get that to work. If not, get a substitute copy of Hydro Thunder. Really only need the disc only, so maybe I should just go on eBay and try and find a disc only copy of Hydro Thunder now I think about it. But over the past 2 weeks, I actually did finish a couple other games. One of which was Uncharted 3. Finally finished that. And I wasn't going to talk about the Uncharted, the 3 Uncharted games on the PS3. I wasn't going to talk about them at all until I finished all 3 games. Now, if you've been following my channel for a while, I got a new PlayStation 3 for my birthday in November, the slimmer model, because I wanted a more reliable PS3 than the original model we had. And it came with Uncharted 3. But when I was at Best Buy at the time picking up my birthday present for myself, they had a really good deal where not only did you get this game in the box for free, but they threw in the Uncharted Dual Pack for free, which includes Uncharted 1 and 2. So I played through all 3 of those games in a row. Now, I know there were a couple people, well, I don't know who they are, but I hear that whenever people say, oh, I'm going to play Uncharted, some people say, skip the first game. Don't even bother with it. Start with Uncharted 2. And then today I say, what the hell is that about? I played Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. They're all pretty much the same game. I mean, the story's different. So I'm thinking that maybe they didn't like the story in Uncharted 1, or maybe it wasn't as grand as in Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3, which is, true to some extent. But the gameplay is pretty much exactly the same in all three games, except, with 2 and 3 you get more dynamic camera angles and effects and everything. They are, more impressive looking games, which are certainly nothing wrong with Uncharted 1. Basically, there's 3 styles of play in the game, and it keeps switching back and forth between them. It's all third-person view behind Nathan Drake. You're running, and then all of a sudden enemies will come out. You'll duck for cover. You'll shoot all the guys and proceed. Switching weapons. You can only carry 2 weapons at a time, which isn't a problem. It forces you to think about what weapons you want to pick up, and collecting ammo every time it drops. It's pretty cool. And then, there you have the area where Nathan has to use his athletic ability to navigate the environment to try and get to the next area. And then there's the puzzle areas where you usually have to consult a book that Nathan has for clues about how to trigger something to unlock a door or something like that to proceed to the next area. All 3 of these things are in all 3 games, and there's really nothing new or taken away from any of those 3 games. Now, I don't know about the PS Vita version of Uncharted, whatever that one is called, something Compass or something. But in the PS3 ones, that's it. I mean, it's not a bad thing at all. I mean, the games are impressive. The story really keeps you moving along in the game. But seeing as how I played these and the story's done, I really can't see myself going back and playing these again anytime soon. Maybe sometime in the future, I'll say, hey, you know what? I want to play through and try to the Uncharted series again, or one of these Uncharted games, and relive the story or whatnot. But I was kind of hesitant on these games because there's a lot of shooting in the game, and I'm just no good on the PlayStation 3 or regular controller or gamepad. I'm no good at aiming and shooting. So I kind of did get better doing that with the controller as the series went on. But my roots in first person shooting, third person shooting is on the PC with a keyboard and a mouse. So using a controller with analog sticks really takes some getting used to for me. Now, which of the series I did like the best? Uncharted 2. I gotta agree, Uncharted 2 was the best out of all 3, at least in my opinion. Uncharted 3 was going really well, and I gotta say the end of the game was rather disappointing. I mean, it had some really good action at the end of the game, but it was kind of disappointing how the game just ended. And, in fact, the last episode I filmed of this, I said I was going to talk about Uncharted 3, but I thought I was going to be able to finish it, but I didn't. I was less than an hour away from finishing it, and I didn't even realize it. I thought something, big was going to happen, but something did big happen. But at that point, I was like, nah, whatever. Because, big things keep happening throughout the whole game, and I guess the last event in the whole game just couldn't, impress me that much. I mean, it was impressive, don't get me wrong, but I was just expecting a lot more to happen at the end of the game. So yeah, that's Uncharted. They're not bad games. They're really good games, in fact, and I would recommend playing all 3 of these. Not just 2 and 3, but all 3 of these. The story does continue from 1 to 2 to 3, so if you're starting at 2, you're losing a little bit of a backstory, I think. Now, the other game I finished was Catherine on the PS3. Now, here's the funny thing about this. I picked this up sometime last year, maybe October, November, somewhere around there, and I never played it until I went to my friend's house for a New Year's Eve party. And at that New Year's Eve party, I played the game for 6.5 hours. And then I got, kind of zoned out so much I couldn't play it anymore. And all my friends were watching me play and everything, and everybody's getting into it and everything. And then I kind of came home and continued playing Uncharted. And I didn't want to play anything else until I finished the Uncharted games. And I kept getting delayed on the Uncharted games because, things like the Vita coming out, or Pinball Arcade, or some other games I wanted to play. So that's why it took me so long to play through all 3 Uncharted games. But then when I continued on with Catherine, I really couldn't stop playing it until I got to the end. And this was one of those games where I thought I beat it, but no, still, 7 more levels to go, 6 more levels to go. And if you don't know, Catherine is a really, really good puzzle game. It's very difficult as well. But what's amazing about this as a puzzle game is it has a really, really good story too that you really interact with as well. So there's really 3 parts to the game. There's a part where the actual puzzle element, where you're in the nightmare world, you know, solving the puzzles, trying to get to the top of the staircase or whatever you call it. And then there's a part where you're in the bar and you're talking to other people, responding to text messages on your phone. And then there's the other part. I'll say the other parts are the cutscenes, because the story is a big part of it, and the story is really interesting. And depending on the actions you take, affect the story. After I beat this game, I found out there were 8 different endings to the game. So I am likely would want to go back and play this again and choose totally different options from what I've chosen the last time. And the story actually had a really good twist at the end, I thought, or near the end. And I'd like to see some more endings. I want to see what happens if I went with Catherine instead of Catherine, or made my choices to, because, you know, basically there's Catherine. The game is called Catherine, but there's 2 Catherines in the game. There's a Catherine with a C, you see on the cover, and there's a Catherine with a K, who is not on this cover. She's actually up in the corner here. And basically the game is for your character, without going too much into the story, to try and lead towards, you know, one girl or the other girl. And there's like all these moral dilemmas and what he actually wants to do with his life. And it's just really interesting for a puzzle game, and it's really out there, really unique. And I actually enjoyed this game a lot more than any of the Uncharted games, because the puzzles were great. The story was great. Not that the Uncharted series was bad or anything. In fact, I shouldn't say a lot more. I like Catherine more. I guess not a lot more though. These all 4 of these games, really great and really worth checking out if you get a PS3. Catherine is on the Xbox 360 as well, so if you got an Xbox 360, definitely check out Catherine. This game should be half off. You should be able to get this at a most for $30 or less, I think. So that's all I really have to talk about, so there's really nothing left to talk about except my shout-out for the week, or this episode. I say the week like I do this every week, but I don't. And my shout-out is to one of my favorite Canadian YouTubers, and that's Star Soldier 1. And now, what can I say about Star Soldier 1? If you watch any of his videos, one word I have to describe it is just high energy. High energy and near borderline insane crazy. I just I love it. I can't take my eyes off of Star Soldier when he does like this fake acting thing where he's like, oh, why'd you do this, Sony? Yeah, what? And I don't know. I just find it amusing, entertaining. What does he do? He does reviews. He has a thing he's doing now called Turbo Tuesdays, where every Tuesday he puts out a video, some kind of video somehow relating to the TurboGrafx 16. I think part of the reason he does that is I think he does have a complete TurboGrafx 16 library, at least US. And also, in addition to that, he has a complete NES library, at least officially released NES games in the US, I think. So, oh yeah, a very entertaining channel. Can't speak highly enough about Star Soldier 1. Check out his channel. You will not be disappointed. And that's it for this episode. See you all next time. Bye.
Oh, you're people. Don't tell me you're a princess.
Please, no, stop. I can't take it.